recently.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so for Damari, I just wanted to continue to say we also during the campaign we provide support for students if they experience any barriers once you get to college. We know that there are some barriers to students if students are unaccompanied homeless, in foster care, and also students without any family support system. So with that being said, we know that there's 3 specific schools in the state of Maryland that provide an office on their campus that provides support. So the Community College of Baltimore County, which is CCBC, they have student navigators on their campus. So we provided information to the counselors to make sure that they pass it on to students. We also know that Prince George's Community College, they have an office on campus that provides support to students. So if you need any support while you're attending college, you can also visit that college if you decide to, that campus, the office, if you decide to go to Prince George's Community College. And then the University of Maryland College Park, they recently launched their Foster and Terp Success Program, which is a campus-wide community support system to help students without any family support system, or if they just need any support. It's a centralized place for all the support that's needed. Because you receive a lot of support when you're in high school, but a lot of times when students go to college, they don't know specifically what offices to visit to get the support that is needed. Another thing that we do for the Maryland College Application Campaign is that we reach out to all the colleges and universities across the state to get application fee waivers. We have currently application fee waivers for like Morgan State University, Salisbury University of Baltimore, Bowie State University. So we have a list of those. I believe it's about 10 or 11 schools right now that provided us college application fee waivers. So if there are any of the schools that you are interested in applying to that's on that list, you'll be able to apply for free. So you want to check with your school counselor. And this is just our contact information. I know that Dr. Edwards will be giving her information too, but I just want to provide information to you for all the partners within the Maryland College Application Campaign, which is myself, Dr. Edwards, and Sharon Hassan, who's the Executive Director of College Go Maryland. Okay.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Daly.
You're welcome.
So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so we can start this presentation. Okay, can you guys see it, the big version?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so Damari, I'm going to present me and Ms. Great, who was our AVID coordinator. We both came together to create this presentation, so we both will be going back and forth with this presentation. So really what we want to do is first talk about fears about college, and then selecting the right major, how the process of applying to college, paying for college, and then the importance of writing a good essay and then building your resume. So I'm not sure if you've had these conversations with yourself or with others, or you asked yourself these questions, Damari, about where you see yourself in the first 4 years. I think it's important for everyone to have a vision, to be able to see how do you see yourself, because that's like your plan of action, and that's like your dreams. So if you can see yourself wherever it is you want to be in 4 years after you finish college, then that better aligns with how you can then take the steps to reach those goals. And then, but also thinking about that, when you see yourself in 4 years, what are those maybe potential barriers, obstacles that could prevent you from accomplishing those goals and dreams? So you don't have to share that. You don't have to share that with us right now, but just think about those things as you're going from this point forward into applying to college. But I do want to share a video that will kind of tap onto like what a lot of maybe students who are first gen students who go off to college and it's a whole new world. They only know what to expect. That it might speak to like kind of what you have experienced as well. So I'm going to stop sharing this screen and go to the video. And there is one curse word, so please don't, hopefully you're okay with that. But this is a quick clip from a TV show called Grownish, where it's a bunch of kids who go off to college and it's like their first experience in college.
Hey, hey,
Can everybody hear it?
you alright?
I don't know
Yes.
why, but at that moment something came over me. Maybe it was hearing Vivek talk about his dad, or Nomi being honest about her sexuality, or maybe it was just because I'd done such a shitty thing to Anna. But I felt compelled to keep opening up. I realized the first time I was out on my own, the first chance to make my own decision, I made the wrong one. And I had done it so easily. What did that say about me? Was that the person I really was? The thought of that scared me. But I wasn't alone in my feeling. We were all scared. One by one, I looked around and saw a group of strangers with nothing in common look at each other and see their truest selves reflected in the eyes of people they would soon call family. In fact, the more we cried, the more we realized exactly why we all had stumbled into this crazy class. And it wasn't drones. Dear Professor Dr. Telfi, you asked us to write down why we're taking this class. And the honest truth is we're scared. Scared that maybe we're a person we wouldn't like very much if we met. Scared we're people who are gonna let our communities down. Scared we're people our parents might think different of if they really knew. Scared of becoming our parents. And in some of our cases, scared of losing one of our 17 thumb rings. That was a moment that bonded us forever. It was the moment we never talked about again. It was a moment that was ours.
Okay, so just want to take a moment there. Like, Damari, have you thought about like what kind of fears you have when as far as going off to college, or do you have any fears or things that make you nervous?
Honestly, just it would probably be like schoolwork wise, just trying not to fall behind and keep up on everything. Make sure that I get it all done and turned in on time.
Okay, so just pretty much being able to go
Time
ahead.
management.
Right. And that is something that, yeah, that I think a lot of college students have to eventually get used to, like, because no one's going to be telling you, okay, go get your work done, go do your homework, go to class. That's definitely going to be like a step in, like, how do I then become an individual, responsible individual? Because you don't want to be going off to college paying this money for you just to pretty much not fail and not do the work. You know, it's very different on the college level in the real world. And also when you're meeting different people from walks of life, there's so many more distractions that could cause you to necessarily not have good time management. So those are that's now something good for you to think about now. Okay, what can you do to make sure that you're going to be successful once you go off to college? Okay, so another big thing that people think about and they're nervous about is, okay, how do I pay for college? Oh, let me share my screen again. Okay, so there's several different ways for you to be able to pay for college. There's grants. So grants is like, it's free money when you apply for the FAFSA. Then there's loans, and there's two different type of loans: subsidized, unsubsidized. Just depends on how you have to pay back those loans. And then usually the deadline to apply for financial aid is by March 1st in order for you to get it for the fall. And then when you're going to go to apply for FAFSA, you're going to make sure that your parents know that they need to have their income taxes, their most recent income taxes, whatever assets they may have, like house, car, other special accounts, of course, social security number, be a resident, wherever the state that you're applying. And then that's for FAFSA, but then there's also scholarships that you can get, local scholarships from like your church or organizations. There's national scholarships that you can apply for, and then organizational scholarships, like if you're fraternities or different other like type of nonprofit organizations. So this is where I'm going to take a pause, and I'm going to have Miss Edwards expound more about FAFSA and financial aid.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to try to share my screen here. Let's see. No, this worked perfectly earlier. Give me just a moment, because I'm gonna have to see why is it not working.
My mother has a question. If y'all don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Absolutely. Yes.
I'm gonna have a question about the FAFSA. Demari stayed with his dad last year, and his dad claimed him on his taxes, but he's staying with me now. So when we do the FAFSA form, do we both put our taxes up, or how does that work how would that work in his situation as far as filling out the FAFSA form?
Being that you are doing the FAFSA for the next year that will start in August 1st, he's living with you. So it sounds like he's spending his time with you. So it will be your information, and it will be the 2019 taxes.
Okay. So his dad claimed him on 2019.
It really it really not going to matter who claimed him so much. It's just that who he's spending his most time with.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. No worries. Okay, I think we have it here. And hopefully everyone can see my screen now.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So I'm just going to talk quickly about financial aid in general. And these are just some sources of aid and types of aid that you can receive. You heard about receiving scholarships. You can receive loans. You can receive grants. Well, you can receive financial aid through the federal government, from the state of Maryland, where I work for the Maryland Higher Education Commission, where we administer over 20 plus financial aid programs and award more than $120 million a year to Maryland students. And then you have institutional aid, where the colleges or the college or university that you attend may have scholarships and grants that they can offer. And then there's other aid. There could be aid from a credit union, from a church, from a nonprofit that you may work with, just other types of aid that it could be a sorority or a fraternity, as mentioned earlier. And then types of aid that you can receive. You can receive grants, which is gift aid. That means it's free. You don't have to pay it back. And then there's scholarships, which is also gift aid. You don't have to repay it. So you want to maximize grants and scholarships. And then there are loans. Loans, we know you have to repay. I mean, if you borrow money from your mother, she wants it back. So we just encourage to borrow wisely. Only borrow what you need. And then there's work study, which is employment. The campus where you attend may have work study jobs where you can work on the campus, and the federal government pays your wages for that job. And it's a great work experience. So if you are offered work study, please, by all means, accept it, because it's free money coming from the government, and you're getting some great work experience on the campus where you attend. So you heard the free application for federal student aid mentioned earlier, the FAFSA. You must complete the FAFSA every year, starting your senior year in high school until you graduate college. It's not a one and done, it's every year. And the FAFSA is just a form that the federal government has to determine a student's eligibility for financial aid. It's from financial aid from the federal and state government, as well as it could be for any other types of scholarships. So always complete the FAFSA. And if you all have not completed it, if you have not completed the FAFSA with your parent or parents, please do it as soon as possible. It's just very important because, you know, financial aid money, and could be state aid or some type of aid at the institution, could start going away. You know, it kind of, the pot gets low. So you want to do it ASAP. And as a current senior, you will be doing the 2021-2022 FAFSA with the 2019 tax documents, okay? And then for Maryland state aid, as I mentioned, state aid is a source of aid that you can receive. And Maryland's state deadline to apply for Maryland aid is March 1st. March 1st. So to apply for state aid, you want to complete the FAFSA, do that as soon as possible. And when you do, list a Maryland institution. When you list a Maryland college or colleges that you want to attend on your FAFSA, the Maryland Higher Education Commission will automatically receive your FAFSA information to determine your eligibility for state financial aid. It's very important also to create the MD-CAPS account. The MD-CAPS account is the Maryland College Aid Processing System account. Every student must have this account to apply for and receive Maryland aid, because we will communicate with you from the Maryland Higher Education Commission, known as MHEC, via email, and it will be telling you about what you need to do in your MD-CAPS account. So it's very important to create this account. You can create it today. And the deadline for state aid is March 1st. And every year, October 1st, the FAFSA will be available. I'm sorry, the FAFSA is available, okay? I'm not going to talk about the Maryland State Financial Aid application. This is an application that allows qualified children of undocumented immigrants who qualify for in-state tuition to receive Maryland state aid if they are eligible. So I'm going to skip over this right now. I'm going to talk about just a few Maryland programs. These are scholarship and grant programs. The first one is the Maryland Community College Promise Scholarship. The Promise Scholarship is up to $5,000 a year if a student attends a community college. So I heard you mention earlier that you may be interested in Chesapeake, I heard you say. Okay, that's one of our 16 community colleges in the state of Maryland. So you may be eligible to receive up to $5,000 a year to attend a community college. To apply for the Promise Scholarship, you need to create that MD-CAPS account that I mentioned, file the FAFSA by March 1st, check your email for notifications from MHEC, and submit all required documentations by the deadline. Now, when you create the MD-CAPS account, please, please, please make sure that you use an email that you're going to check. That's very important. For the Promise Scholarship, one thing about this great program is that the income limits. If you live in a single parent household, your parent can make up to $100,000 a year and you can still receive this scholarship. And if it is a two-parent household, you can your family can make up to $150,000 a year and still be awarded this scholarship. Then we have our Guaranteed Access Grant. The Guaranteed Access Grant is a need-based grant that is up to $19,400 a year. For the Guaranteed Access Grant, it's the same process pretty much as the Promise Scholarship. You will create an MD-CAPS account, complete the FAFSA by March 1st, check your email for any notifications, submit all required documentation, and MHEC will reach out to you to let you know if you're eligible for the Guaranteed Access Grant. And one thing that's very important, if you are awarded the Guaranteed Access Grant or any grant, you have 2 weeks to accept it in MD-CAPS. 2 weeks to accept it in MD caps, okay? And something else that's very important about the Guaranteed Access Grant, you need to have a 2.5 cumulative GPA. We have the Educational Assistance Grant. It is up to $3,000 a year. Same process as I mentioned for the other grants. And also you want to make sure that you accept this award also if you receive it within 2 weeks. And then there is campus-based educational assistance grant. It is up to $3,000. Same process here. What's different about the campus-based educational assistance grant is that this is only awarded if a student misses the March 1st deadline. And you would have to contact the financial aid office at the college or university and apply for this money with them. There is no guarantee that they will have this money because the institutions are allocated a small percentage of funds for students who miss the deadline. However, I know you're not going to miss the deadline, so you're not going to need this campus-based educational assistance grant. There's also legislative scholarships. There's a senatorial scholarship and the delegate scholarship. You want to apply to each delegate in your district. You should have 3 or 4 delegates in your district, and you will contact their office or go to their website to apply and learn how their application process works. And then there's 1 senator in your district, and you will also want to apply to the senator, okay? And they have to tell you how their application process works. The senatorial scholarship, the minimum award is $400, and it is renewable, meaning that once you receive it, you will receive it each year as long as you continue to meet the eligibility requirements. For the delegate scholarship, the minimum is $200. And you remember, you have 3 or 4 delegates, so you would apply to each delegate. The delegate scholarship is non-renewable, so you need to apply every year. No scholarship is too small, so you want to apply for all of these scholarships. And if you do not know your delegates or your senator, you can go to www.mdelect.net. Enter your address and all of the information will populate for you. And I just wanted to highlight private scholarships. There's so many different types of scholarships to help pay for college. It takes a little work, but it is worth it. It's worth it to put the time in. You can create a fastweb.com account and you can search for weird scholarships. You can search for unique scholarships. You can search, there are just so many different types of scholarship that you will be able to search for and apply for it under FastWeb. But however, this is just a snapshot of all the different type of scholarships that are available. And I mentioned FastWeb. So this is just a brief list of websites that you can go to apply for scholarships and learn just about how to pay for college. You have the state account. The last website here is MHEX account. Above that is the studentaid.gov account. That is for the federal government, where you would learn about the FAFSA and the Pell Grant, which is free money that the government offers. So you want to make sure you learn about that. You have the United Negro College Fund. You know, there's just so many ways to apply for scholarships and learn about how to pay for college. That concludes my presentation for today. So I want to end my presentation and answer any questions that you and your mother or your other families may have.
So I play sports. So, you know, before the time come, I'm trying to get an academic scholarship for sports. So like, will this still have to do with the scholarship? Because say if I receive one, so will this still have to so will I still have to fill out, I think you said the FAFSA every year and all that?
Yes. Yes, you're going to need to complete a FAFSA every year because in most cases, any scholarship organization or institutions want to see that information. They want to see what is happening with your family's finances. It's just something for record purposes as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Great question.
You got any questions? I have no more questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're on mute.
Sorry. Thank you, Ms. Edwards, for that great information that you presented to us. And we have a few more slides that we are going to present, and then we'll be done with our breakout session. All right, can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So a major part of, going to college is you have to select the right college, and it takes some effort and some time to really think about, okay, what is your major? What do you like? Again, what do you see yourself doing in 4 years? What do you want to become? What are you passionate about? And how does a career field align with what your passion is? So you have to really think about what your major is, and then what the cost is. And well, let me go back. So you have your major, and then selecting a school, you want to make sure that your school that you're going to go to offers your major, and it doesn't offer, but that they're going to give you the training and experience and support that you need to make sure that you're really qualified and have the skill set that you need to be able to go out and get a good job. And then, of course, cost is definitely a factor to go out of state versus stay in state. But then even there's some in-state colleges and universities that cost more than others. Like University of Maryland is pretty costly. Towson is pretty costly, but it may not be as costly as going to Bowie State or maybe University of Maryland, or so many schools here in Maryland, Frostburg. Those are, you got to look at the cost to see on what is more financially feasible. Of course, the climate of the school, like, do you want it to be I won't say a party school, but do you want it more of a like a traditional type school, or you want it to like be a school where there's like the climate is like fun, or is it just more serious? Okay, I talked about out of state versus in state, and then a large or small campus. It just really depends on you as a person. Like, what do you like, and what are you comfortable with? The University of Maryland is a very, very large campus, and so it may not be as easy for one to like kind of get involved, because a lot of people just want to stay in the major, stay within their school. And you can kind of get lost in that. And then also your class is going to be very large too, so you may not have that one-on-one that you may want or need with your professor, versus that's what a small campus would offer. So those things to think about when you're trying to select the right college. So then you're going to go to the process of applying to college. The first thing you want to do is do a checklist. Now, I know we provided a lot of information about financial aid and things like that, but even the process of going through and applying to college, you want to make sure you start with a checklist to make sure that you're doing everything you need to do. Get your fee waivers, fill out the actual application for the college. You want to update Naviance, because Naviance is the way that as counselors, we're able to send off your transcripts, and recommendation letters directly to the school. You want to make sure that you reached out to your teacher, maybe 2 or 3 teachers, to get their recommendation letters, as the counselor also needs to have time to make their recommendations as well. And then you want to make sure you're paying attention to application deadlines to make sure that you have gotten all your application materials submitted prior to that deadline. As of right now, during COVID and being virtual, a lot of schools have become test optional for the SAT or ACT. However, it will never hurt to take either test, but just know that if you take the test or you haven't taken the test yet, that it's not going to be a barrier for you to apply. Okay, apply to the school and then take the test at a later option or a later date. And then I just want to make sure you're aware that there's two different types of Common Apps. There's the regular Common App, and then there's been one created for the Black Common App. And Black Common App is mostly geared towards all the historically Black colleges and universities. So you can create an account for one or both of those. It just depends on what you would like to do and what your which college you're looking to go towards. You have any questions so far, Damari?
No.
Okay. Okay, so of course, part of our application, college application is you want to make sure you're doing the essay and you're also creating a resume. So when it comes to essay writing, you want to make sure you're telling a personal story, taking the time to write a thorough, well thought out essay. So, and then also when you write it down, you want to make sure that you're editing. You want to make sure that you have other people seeing it, your teachers, your parents, counselor, whoever you trust, to make sure they're giving time. They have time to edit, and you're submitting your best, pretty much like your best self. Okay, so get a proofread, make sure it makes sense, because you want to make sure that it flows when the admissions people are reading it. You want to make sure that it flows. Highlight what makes you unique and special, because there's 50 million. I won't say that's not 50 million, but there's thousands of applications that's coming into any one given school. So you have to make sure that you're putting something in your essay that's going to make you immediately stand out, or show that you are, how unique and special you are. Because yes, we're all unique, we're all special, but what is it that uniquely, like what is it that really, makes you stand out from everybody else? And then think about some life lessons that you've learned so far in your life. Everyone has a story. You're 17, 18 years of age. You've experienced some things through your family, just through your life. And so those are life lessons you also want to put into your essay writing. And also, what leadership qualities that you been able to exhibit or acquire, like playing sports, or if you're any professional, any organizations or groups or clubs at school, or even working at a job. What leadership qualities do you have now? And so then in resume writing, it's really important to make sure you're always highlighting your skill set, whether you are a captain of the team or wherever position you play on the sports team. If you actually are working, if you are in a group or club, everything that you do, your academic history, all that can go on the resume as a high school student. So extracurricular activities, academics, work experience, special organizations or groups, clubs, sports, community outreach. Make sure if you're going out to volunteer at a church, or you're going to a soup kitchen, or you're passing out gloves in the wintertime or coats, or maybe you help with the voter registration drive. Anything that you've ever done, that's volunteer work, that's community outreach. You want to make sure you put it on your resume. Okay, and so for the Common App essay prompts, this is a list. I'm not going to go through all these, but these are like some things that to kind of help you gauge or jog your thoughts about, okay, what kind of essay do I want to write? And so for one, it's like reflect on a time when you questioned or challenged a belief or idea. What prompted your thinking and what was the outcome? So these are some things that you can, questions that you can use just to kind of help you begin to write your resume if you haven't, your essay, if you haven't already done that. And again, this session is being recorded, and this presentation is going to be posted on our school counseling website for you to access at a later date. And this is a link that will have a template for a resume that you can use and then be able to edit it for yourself or for your own personal resume. So this concludes our presentation. So I want to thank you for attending, and be sure to check out all the resources listed in all of the presentations. Again, it will be located on our website, and this presentation also, the recording will also be on our website. And make sure that, as I'm your counselor, make sure that we are going to talk too, so I can definitely help you as you start your process.